All right, so nobody is here, but just in case anyone pops in, uh, this is for no good reason live video. I am testing out my internet because I'm about to record a podcast. I just had new internet installed, uh, but things were running a little bit slow. So I wanted to test out the streaming aspect of my internet to see if it was working or if I should start freaking out about my internet connection. We're having a guest on the podcast today, and slow internet and a podcast guest is no fun. So just popping on here to see how it's working. Uh, Ashley, what's up? Yeah, I mean, hey, if you guys want to hang out for a few minutes, let's do this. You can ask questions if you want. I have nothing really on the agenda to talk about. I just wanted to test out my Wi-Fi connection to see if it was working. And hello, Lacey. Yes, new internet. It's not new. I just have control of it now. So it's the same company. It's not supposed to be lightning speed or anything. It's just that I have my own account. They had to install it up a tree yesterday. So it's the weirdest thing. It's cable. It's not any sort of awesome, like crazy fast speed internet thing. So I live, basically in the early 2000s at this point, considering who is messaging me. I don't know. So yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm testing it out. Greetings from Portugal. Oh, that is a long way. What's up? Kim, what's up? Shan, is that how you say? I'm guessing that's how you say her name. I've been, pretty good considering. I definitely had a bit of like an anxious week with uncertainty because, COVID, the usual. Nothing, it's a familiar uncertainty in this time, I guess. It doesn't really get any easier, but it's nothing that no one else in the world is experiencing. So considering that, surviving the heat. How hot is it in Portugal right now? Shan, you're from England. Oh, what's up? My dad is from England. Katie, what's up? Ruben from the Netherlands, how's it going? Kate and Gonzalez, you're at work, waiting to clock out. Woohoo! Happy Friday to you. Just about to clock out. That's exciting. Keisha, 97. Oh, I think it's 90 here. Last time I checked, it was 90 degrees here. What is it? Yes, 90 degrees. 29 in Celsius. Ooh, sorry. I'm a stupid American. I do not know Celsius. Let's see. 112 in Vegas. Holy shit. No, thank you. That is death. That is death hot. Maddie Thomas. Hello from France. What's up? Lacey. Before it started storming here, it was 103 with the heat index. Oh man, 103. Ouch. I'm happy that at least it is not in the hundreds, because it can get to be in hundreds here. So it is not. It actually has been a decently mild summer so far, knock on wood. But, I'm in California, so we also tend to, burn every year in the sense that there's always a fire, and then our power gets shut off, and now there's COVID. So, the best is yet to come so far in 2020, that is for sure. Let's see. The Tuna Lover. Hey, been a fan for 2 years now. Love the progress. What's your favorite way to make a casserole? Oh, thanks. You know what? I don't make a casserole very often, but uh, I can't actually remember the last time I made a casserole. It's been years. I think I made an enchilada casserole. But the only reason that I made it an enchilada casserole versus enchiladas is because I'm lazy. So instead of taking the time to like fold up and like the enchiladas, I just stacked it all up in a dish instead and baked it in the oven. So unfortunately, I'm not a casserole king or genius at those. That's for sure. Tyler, do I have Snapchat? So I do have Snapchat, but I am never on it. I actually just got onto TikTok not too long ago. Um, but Snapchat, I was on for like a second, but it never really appealed to me to something that I wanted to spend a lot of time on. So I just kind of didn't, but my account's there. um, over 110 every day for 3 months in Vegas. Oh man, moving to Oregon soon. That's a good idea because that is ridiculously hot. Ugh. Kavita. Let's see. Oh, is that how you say your name too? Okay. Hello. What's up? We got it like 2 days ago, but it's kind of lame. It's how everyone my age talks to each other, though, so I have no choice. Oh, Snapchat. I think that's kind of like the reason I wasn't super into Snapchat because I felt like it was for a younger age group than what, I'm an old man. So I was just kind of like, all right, what can I do here that I can't do with Instagram stories, that sort of thing. Um, so yeah. The humidity is the worst thing here in NC, pretty mild overall. Yeah, luckily it's not too humid here. I can see like clouds in the sky, which is a little bit more humid. Usually it's a dry heat here. Spencer Reed, what's up? How's it going? I've been pretty good. Did they close all the gyms again where you are in Cali? So, yes and no. um, email distraction. Um, Happened to be from Dr. Chen. What's up, Dr. Chen? So yeah, it's yes and no. It depends on a few things. It depends on what county you're in. It depends if you're on the watch list. But also it depends if your gym, wants to participate. There's been a lot of pushback this time around with gyms being like, no, no, we're not doing this again. We just opened back up, and people are depressed, and this is like an outlet for people, and yeah, so it's kind of like that thing where there's a point where you weigh the risks and you decide if it's worth it for you or not. And my mental health, if I am not in the gym, like it's bad. So I go. um, where in Cali do I live? I live in Northern California, so we're not getting hit as bad as Southern California. 'Cause we're cooler. Just kidding. But yeah, Northern California. Been working out and working on losing weight and on waiting lists for top surgery. That's awesome. Keep it up. I think that getting healthy before surgery can be super important. It's stress on the body in and of itself, but if you can go into a surgery healthier, it's going to be less of a stress. But then also, I think it will help with recovery and also give you less chance of complications. So keep at it. I think pre-surgery health is probably more important than we talk about. How do How do you stay so focused on eating healthy and working out? Funny, I just kind of wrote a Instagram post kind of on this topic specifically, so that's a good question. Uh, when it comes to the way that I eat, that's just been a very long process of finding out what works for me, what makes me feel good, and the biggest motivator or the biggest thing that kind of flipped the switch for me is food. When I started noticing how food made me feel physically, so how I felt during a workout, how I felt after eating it, how was my energy level, how did my body digest that, how did my digestive system handle that. So after I started acknowledging how my body felt after I ate a certain food, it was a lot easier for me to implement that into my life and know that this food that I'm eating makes me feel good versus this food might taste good. I mean, the food that makes me feel good also tastes good, but this food over here might be like amazingly just sinfully tasty, but I feel like shit afterwards. So there's always room for treats. Sometimes feeling like shit is worth it, you know, once in a while to eat something that you enjoy a lot. But generally, I've come to a point in my life where I prefer to feel good. So it's really been the biggest shift in my mindset, shift in my eating, just knowing that, you know, I know how I'm going to feel after I eat something, and that's what motivates me to stay on track. Same with working out. I always feel better when I'm more fit versus when I can't work out, whether it's, you know, a surgery or whatever. So yeah, that's the biggest shifter for me. And it was years. I didn't always eat healthy. I drank soda. I ate fast food on a regular basis. I was not, you know, I did not come out of the womb just ready to eat a salad or just, you know, craving vegetables. It was not like that for me forever. So it's just, you have to figure out what your priority is, what's worth it to you, and what works for you and what doesn't. So yeah, sorry for that long rant. Let's see, Dennis. Oh, thanks. What's the difference between weight training and bodybuilding? You know, not a whole lot, depending. Really, the biggest difference is your goals. So weight training and bodybuilding could be kind of used interchangeably. If you're, you know, a bodybuilder, you're lifting weights, you're training with weights. But I guess bodybuilder is kind of that, has more of an identity to it, where you kind of have a goal of competing and you plan on stepping on the stage. Whereas weight training, you're more so, you might love the strength aspect to it. You might like how it makes you feel. You might like how it makes you look, but you might not have that need or want to ever compete in bodybuilding. So I guess that's where you would kind of use the weight training term versus bodybuilding term. But the style of training can be similar, but also I guess weight training can technically be similar to powerlifting. It's kind of just more of a broad term. Let's see. I decided to work out at home and trying to adjust. That's awesome. I worked out at home when the gyms were closed, and it was awful. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, Rage of the Animals. Oh, thank you for your little, what's it called? The little donation thing. Thank you. It's nice to meet you too. Let's see. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the home workout thing. Like physically, it wasn't any different, and you know, not having to travel and take that time driving was nice. But mentally, I work here, I sleep here, I eat here, and I don't have any sort of separate rooms. It's all, in a studio, so being able to separate myself from the distractions, being able to clear my head was just impossible. So it was like just a little torturous for me to focus. So having the gym, creating that extra space that I didn't have when I had to work out at home is just such a world of difference. And I'm an introvert, but the gym supplied me with enough social interaction to keep me sane. I've found that even I, as a very much so an introvert, still needs a little bit of human interaction on a daily basis. So even if I'm not even talking to anybody at the gym, just seeing people also working out, it's just a bit of a mood lifter. So without the gym, I definitely had some low points. So I'm just kind of hoping that the gym stays open, that I don't have to go back to basically forcing myself to maintain and continue to work out at home. But I will, because sometimes you just don't have a choice. But I prefer the gym. Okay, Jessica Young, hi from Sacramento. What's up? We are not too far from each other. That is awesome. Let's see. Mark, how has the arm been? Hi to Carly. The arm is, the usual. Still just, having the blood flow issues, as you can see, the usual. I think just the blood has a hard time draining from my hand because of the tightness. But, that's that. I'm still trying to juggle the surgery option, and that can also depend on insurance with lots of stuff, let's see. Spencer, thanks. You're awesome. I appreciate that. Let's see. All gyms in SoCal have shut down again. It's back to nothing open except essential business. I saw that. I did, however, see some gyms in Southern California who were defying that order, but definitely not all of them, but it's happening more. But also, you have to consider what you find safe for yourself. Even if the gyms are open and you don't feel safe going, there's nothing wrong with that. It shouldn't add stress to your life. And of course, the usual, like, take precautions, wipe down the equipment, socially distance, wear masks, that sort of thing. So if you go, take precautions, but if you don't go, that is totally fine too, because, you don't want to add more stress into your life if you don't want to. Jessica Baker. Hey, Cody, how's it going? And do you have any advice on the best protein powder for weight gain and to build muscle? So there isn't a perfect protein powder for muscle gain. Basically, what will matter the most for muscle gain is getting enough calories, protein as well, adequate protein, and also lifting, progressive overload, lifting enough, having, always pressing forward with your weights or sets with volume and that sort of thing. But first and foremost, yes, protein intake is important. If you find that you can't hit all of your protein intake with food, a protein powder can be a good supplement. It shouldn't be a meal replacement. It's not something that you should drink because you think that it is superior to, like, a chicken breast or fish or anything like that. It's just one of those things that you can use to, like, get the edge on things. It's something that I use because I get full pretty fast. I have a pretty sensitive stomach, so if I stuff myself with chicken breast, then I'm going to have a bit of a time digesting that for sure. So I might shoot for using a protein supplement so that I can still hit my protein goal without feeling so bloated and full. So yes, protein, some things you can look for in a protein powder though. You want to make sure that it is limited ingredients. It doesn't have a bunch of fake sugars, fillers, that sort of thing. They can put a whole lot of shit in there. One brand that I recommend that I use, I will type in the box below. It's called Biochem whey protein. What I like about this brand is that it's very minimal ingredients, comes from grass-fed cows, and it's protein isolate. So another form of protein powder with whey is there's whey protein concentrate. So there's isolate and there's concentrate. Isolate is the one you want to look for. Concentrate, it's not, that much worse. It's cheaper, but it's also got a little bit more lactose in it. It's not as well isolated. So the isolate is a bit more superior in that sense. It could be more expensive sometimes, but it's worth it, especially if you are sensitive to dairy products or lactose. I can handle it because biochem, it's like 0.1% lactose in there, so it doesn't bother me. But yeah, make sure to check the ingredients for protein powder. That can be pretty important. Let's see. Erica, greetings from Poland. What's up, Erica? Rage of the animals. Where's Pup? She is sleeping. I'll show you so you could see her. She's snoozing right now. What you doing? She's like, shut up. I'm trying to sleep. Her name is Carly. Let's see. Erica. In here, gyms were opened at the beginning of June with some restrictions, and so far nothing has happened. Apparently, weddings are the biggest source of spreading the virus. Oh, wow. You know, honestly, even here, they're finding that gatherings or like mixing of households is what's more the culprit for the spread than gyms. There's been literally very, very, very tiny amounts that actually have been traced to gyms at all. One of, my gym did released some data on the amount of COVID cases that actually came from gyms, and it was so small. So shutting them down without a whole lot of data backing up why is a little bit sad in my opinion, because people, really rely on that as an outlet. And if you do live in a place where it is extremely hot, it's hard to even get out for a walk. Like even at my gym, there's older folks that like to go to the gym and walk on the treadmill because it's so hot outside and they just would not be able to in the heat. So there's so many factors that people are not considering when they shut gyms down. Unfortunately. Let's see. A gym I thought I could use. A goal to close down permanently. Oh man, they closed permanently? I did hear, I think, that they were shutting a lot of their locations down because they weren't really making it with everything, or they had to file for bankruptcy, something along those lines. Hello from Puerto Rico. What is up? Do any of you happen to listen to the Mind Hub podcast, which is my podcast with my friend D? We're about to record an episode in about 30 minutes with a doctor who is going to be talking about metabolic health. So I'm excited about that, which is why I'm testing out my Wi-Fi to make sure it is working, which it seems to be. Hopefully that is the case. I'm 53, trans guy, and you're a big inspiration for me. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Thank you. Let's see. Lacey. Gyms here in North Carolina have been closed since April. Oh, that sucks. I know there's a lot of gyms that never actually opened up, which might actually have been better in places where they opened and then closed, because you just got like a tease, and then you get your hopes up and you have this sense of normalcy for a second, or you have that outlet back that you were missing so much. And then you get this news that, after a month that they have to close back down. It makes it so much harder when you've been teased to think that this thing that you've been missing is finally back. And then all of a sudden it's like, nope, just kidding. So I don't know. You almost feel like it's better if they just would have kept them shut. But at the same time, there's not a whole lot of reason to actually have them be closed when not a lot of cases are actually coming out of gyms, as long as they are taking all the precautions and that sort of thing. So honestly, I would say that if gyms were smart right now, and if they had the room, they would try to move as much as they could outdoors. Even if they had to put up some canopies, then move the equipment outside, because that would make them, protected from any sort of thing, and then they keep operating. And it is safer to be outdoors versus indoors. So if you want the ultimate, safety, if gyms moved outdoors, that would make things a little bit better. Let's see. Jessica, thanks, very helpful. I eat really balanced, just burn off so fast. Tried the whey protein, but looking for something without so much junk in it. My health journey. Awesome. Yeah, that's you have like the opposite problem than most people, where you burn calories just super fast, which is people would probably envy you, but I also get that frustration. I tend to hit like a max amount of calories that I can eat before I'm just like, no, I can't. So yeah, I would say definitely try that whey protein powder, but then if you might try adding in some banana, some peanut butter. If you're someone who has a really high metabolism, you're gonna make sure that you get enough calories. So there's a lot of calorie dense foods that you can ultimately add into the shake to bring up your calories without making you feel too stuffed. And everything here in PA is slowly shutting down again. I see another lockdown happening. If it's anything like here in California, probably brace yourself for things to start shutting down again. However, they are allowing for restaurants to basically, like in my town, they've closed off some areas of the sidewalk or streets so restaurants could bring tables outdoors and chairs and stuff like that to just accommodate the restaurants and allow them to keep operating to some extent. So that's been pretty cool to see. So it's not as shut down as the initial shutdown, but everything that I would want to do is shut down. So what's the difference? The only difference is that there's still toilet paper on the shelf at this point. So that's nice. At least people have learned, you don't need to hoard the toilet paper, and there's enough for everybody. Can you put the link to the podcast? I am part of the older generation, new podcast listening and such. Yes. Do you have Spotify or iTunes? I usually put it in the description of my videos. So like if you go back to the last video I made, you'll find it in the description there. I don't have the link to it right now because I could probably give you the Spotify link, but the iTunes, I don't have iTunes on my computer. Let's see. Yeah, I think it will be locked down in most European countries as well. Probably will have a second wave in autumn with flu season, so I try to use most of the gym opening. Yeah, that's one thing. They're not sure if this is going to become like a seasonal thing. And no one knows right now. I think we're all just guessing, trying to figure it out. The thing is that the frustrating thing for me is that, so in the US, we locked down so that we didn't overwhelm the medical system, so we could slow the spread and that sort of thing. But then when we open back up, however many months later, there's literally nothing changed. Nothing's different. The virus didn't magically disappear as we came out of lockdown. But for some reason, people had this mindset where it was like, okay, we're allowed to leave our houses and go places now. It must not be dangerous, but it's the danger or the risk was exactly the same, if not more, the second time around, or when we reopened. There was nothing that changed. The only thing is that we got more supplies of things. The hospitals hopefully were more equipped. We had more testing, that sort of thing. But was it supposed to be a shock that positive test results went up, that cases started surging? Personally, I would have kind of figured that would happen, but I don't know what we're doing. I don't know if we're just going to have to keep intermittently locking down because it's kind of ridiculous. It's a little bit of a whiplash thing going on. I don't know. So, and I bought organic protein and superfoods powder. Oh my God. It helps me feel full and eat less, no added sugar. I do. That's good. I have a hard time like buying, I don't know. So I don't do like superfoods protein and stuff because they do put that like greens powder in it, and I can taste it. No matter how much you try to mask it, it tastes a little bit like a cross between algae or like seaweed and hay. Or at least that's what it like smells like. So then I taste that, and it's just, I can't do it. So you're brave. um, let's see. I got an improved arm today, took my kayak to the lake and did some fishing today, so she'll away from me. That's awesome. That sounds awesome. Kayaking on the lake. Peaceful, for sure. Avery Jackson. Hey Cody, what foods can I eat to lower my bad cholesterol since exercising raises your good cholesterol, also which is the cleanest whey protein? So actually what tends to raise your bad cholesterol are trans fats. Saturated fat can also raise bad cholesterol. Also sugar and like refined sugar and processed carbs, because cholesterol is actually something, it's your body's response to inflammation. So inflammatory foods can actually cause your cholesterol to go up. Cholesterol in and of itself isn't inherently bad, but one thing that you do want to get in check is your HDL to LDL ratio. Use that HDL cholesterol, which you can do with making sure to eat healthier fats. So healthy fats would be things like avocado, or you could cook with avocado oil. Olive oil, extra virgin, is a great healthy fat, but I wouldn't cook with it. It's great for salad dressing, uncooked. If you burn or if you like overcook olive oil, it can actually not be the healthiest for you. So make sure you pay attention to that if you use olive oil. Let's see. What other? So like omega-3 sources, fish, you could supplement with things like krill oil. Yeah, just making sure to get in as much as you can in the healthy fat area should help improve that ratio. Let's see. As far as which is the cleanest whey protein, I put a brand that I use in the comments. I'll put it down again. That one's a pretty good one if you want to check it out. Let's see. Stage 4 of reopening where I am. The governor should go back to stage 3. Where are you at? I'm curious. I am 12 years old. 12 years old. Why is it easy for me to build muscle? I couldn't tell you. Avery, no problem. Glad to be of help. Illinois. Well, you guys are doing good over there then, because we just can't get past stage 3. Emma, hey Cody, hope you're well and safe. Thank you. I am well, and I am safe. I hope you are also well and safe. All right, well, now that we've determined my internet connection works, I should probably hop off and then start getting ready for my podcast. And let me try, the Spotify Spotify link for it, just in case you have Spotify. Sorry, it's not the iTunes link. Okay, so here's the podcast link. If you want to, last week's episode, it was really good. They're all decent, but we had our first guest, and it was about trauma and your relationship with food and your body, and legit so important. I think it's something that is not talked about enough, or just something that is missed when it comes to health. So check out last week's podcast episode. And of course, sorry, this wasn't meant to be a podcast pitch, but if you like it, subscribe, leave a review, all that fun stuff. But that one's a good one. Cool. Anyways, thank you guys so much for just hopping on here randomly with me. I appreciate it. And to anyone that asked questions, I appreciate that as well. Hopefully it was helpful and random, and maybe I should just randomly hop on more often. I don't know. But thank you guys so much. I love you. You're awesome. And I will see you next time.